So what we want to do, people think we crazy. We think defund MPD. I'm a villain. I know the police ain't going nowhere tomorrow. But what we can do is rise up and fight back. That we defund from the police and invest into systems and resources that keep us safe. Resources and agencies like give our black people housing, give our black people health care, give our children proper education, give us mental behavioral services. Okay?
Sub-goal, personnel and exit hiring freeze, creating a hard cap on overtime, encouraging and incentivizing furloughs and retirement, firing officers who violate civil rights, ending paid leave during disciplinary investigation. Another sub-goal regarding equipment, banning MPD purchasing equipment, including military-style crowd control and chemical weapons.
Because we are talking about bringing back all of the sovereign land of all the indigenous people who have been stolen and taken from their land or had their land taken from them. Racist says cops! We want freedom! Back up! We want freedom! All these racist says cops! We don't need them!
We live in 2021, and you know, I'm pretty sure that we are more, you know, we're more intelligent than, you know, our forefathers, as you would say, and I'm pretty sure we could come up with a system, or I'm pretty sure we could do what other countries like Norway are doing, where their police don't carry no weapons, and it takes them 8 years to be the police. And you really got to do some shit and learn some stuff, you know, in order to do that. Like, you can't apply to be a fucking brain surgeon. Excuse me. You can't apply to be a brain surgeon.
You can use any word you want.
Perfect. You can't apply to be a brain surgeon and expect to get the job in 8 months. You can't. And you know absolutely everything about the law, and you're completely dedicated to cleaning the streets. No, screw that. Screw that. That sounds like a person with an ulterior motive. You know, you get this cool ass job per se with these benefits to roam and do whatever you want. It sounds like a thug. You sound like a thug.
What about Joe Biden? He's never been.
I was never on this man's side.
Yeah.
I was never on any of their sides. All of them are crooked. Like you can look at their history. Like, I don't care if you were to just point at somebody that I guess a few people in the room know and say that person right there touches somebody. It's not proven, but everybody's still gonna have that thought in their mind. Well, I did see, you know, something about, oh, that person might have had done some wrong things to some kids. Or if, for instance, if you see somebody in a picture with Jeffrey Epstein, I don't care who you are, why are you associated and related to that person, being around that person? If everybody knows that guy does that stuff, oh, but I'm fine, I was never around it, I didn't know. You're lying. You're a liar. Like, all of them are liars, and I can't believe that I'm actually saying that. But now that everybody somewhat is politically savvy, or they know kind of what is going on, like, you can't deny that that stuff is out there in the public, on the internet, that these people do these things, and they're supposed to be in charge of you and leading your life in a better direction, per se, so they say.
Right. So we know, you know, like you said, like Bill Clinton was pictured with Epstein and on his flights, and we know Trump was.
Okay, yeah. Now all your greatest doings or all your accomplishments goes right out the window. I don't care if you donated thousands of dollars of however much money you have to a cause. No, fuck that. You touch children. you know, and you're around, you are who you hang upon, and like that's real life. That's a real life lesson that your mommy and your daddy teaches you. So why is it that we're not using what our mommies and our daddies taught us, like logically?
Well, specifically, you know, with Biden, he
Is a liar.
wants to fund the police even more.
Right, and
which,
he's also, I mean, well, we already knew that.
Yeah.
We just, you know, we were taking the good with the bad, but this is, I guess, you know, we're still out here protesting for the fact that we're not okay with that. We're not okay that your first 100 days in office, you bombed some country.
Yes.
Motherfucker, we could have spent that money and did away with some shit, or put it back to the pandemic, or anything that would help the people right here on the ground who really matter. You know, it take you 6 months or whatever, or however long it take you to give us $1,200 or however much money, but it take you 2.5 seconds to press that button to kill somebody? Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
yeah.
What sense does that make? On what planet? You know, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Well, we clearly, we live in a country where Tamir Rice's mother has just had to file a brief to try to get her son's murderer to not get reinstated as a cop.
Yeah.
We live, you know, Derek Chauvin was convicted on all 3 counts, okay, but still, you know, Marvin Scott III's murderers are not arrested. Breonna Taylor's murderers are not arrested.
But
so
here's my thing, though. You know, two kinds of people use the police, and these people, one side of these people use the you know, one side as, okay, what if we take away, like if you take away the police, who's gonna go catch the bad guy? Okay, that's all cool and all, that's on the ground, that's our problem, but for me, if I'm thinking in like the White House or like the people who actually fund the police, you know, that means if we abolish them, they have less control over what goes on the ground. You know, somebody told the military to, you know, attack us when we were over there, like however many months ago, you know, last June, you know, when they literally assaulted us for days on end.
Speak on that, because people might not be aware or might not remember.
I was there from beginning to end every night. I walked
here in DC.
I walked from my house down Connecticut Avenue, from Montgomery County, all the way to the White House 4 days in a row to protest. And every night I was assaulted. We were assaulted. You know, it didn't matter who you were, what you were. It was a flex of control. If we can get them to stop really quickly by using a little bit of force before, you know, this escalates. But it already did escalate. It had already escalated. There were already cameras out here that watched you do that to us, and then make a mockery out of us by trying to wipe it away the next step.
Well, and obviously, it's not to make it about me at all. Obviously, it's much better for me as a white person, but I was assaulted by police as a journalist here in DC last year.
Right. So that should open your eyes to the fact that, you know, they're not really here. They were not here to protect you.
Right.
They were here to protect property. You know, they could give a crap about what happened to your body. You, the damage, like, you know, that you were a nuisance.
Exactly.
And they thought that they could make you go away when you pay them. So you mean to tell me that me and you and everybody else is paying the police to, you know, have the power to hurt us? And for whose safety? For whose safety? Who was in danger? You know, we're pleading for help, for asking for help, and white people are, you know, having to have black people's voices amplified at a much higher rate, at a much higher velocity than they already do, because now people on the ground, like you and me, we, on the streets, we can see it day to day. Day to day. Like, for the first time in my life, I watched a white girl get stabbed by a Proud Boy.
Oh,
you know, and she's sitting there, she's like, oh shit, I just got stabbed.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Like, it's a real problem for us on the streets, but we really didn't hear too much about that, you know, broadcasted. You know, who really has, you know, control over, you know, what's going on. And the one thing everybody would think of is, where was the police when it happened? Right across the street. Right across the street, not giving a fuck about absolutely nobody here. About nobody here. Absolutely no one.
What do you think about the fact that obviously the streets were more packed with protesters last year? Many of them, you know, white people who were woken up for the first time. But seemingly now that Biden's in office, some of those white folks were, okay, now we can go back to sleep. Trump is gone. What do you think about that? Or obviously...
The problem's still here.
Of
The
course.
problem arises still that, you know, even then with all those voices we still had, somehow some invisible hand seemed to even smash down our voices even lower, even with white people amplifying black voices, trying to get the message out there absolutely everywhere, scattering it across the planet, you know, having absolutely everybody on edge to even think about, you know, remotely, you know, being offensive, you know, to black people, trans people, anybody, period, just on your toes, you know, but the point I'm making is, at the same time, we're still having our voices down, even with other people's problems.
Yep.
Like, you know, with how long have we been doing this now? Since before me and you were born.
Yeah.
You know, but it took Biden absolutely, like, no time at all to pass an anti-Asian hate bill.
Right.
You know, congratulations, but seriously, you
Yes.
know, somebody's mama should slap the shit out of you. Are you kidding me? We were literally pepper sprayed with bullets, people sleeping on the street overnight,
Yes.
coming from all different types of states all over here to DC to be assaulted by the police.
Yes.
To be literally assaulted thousands of miles away from home. I met a dude from Russia who came down here just to do that. That's how important it was.
Mm-hmm.
But it took him no more than a couple days to pass an anti-Asian hate bill. You know, and you can't do something that, you know, has the police easing up off of all of our backs right now.
That is an incredible point, and I think something that is lost on a lot of people. It took no time at all for that to happen.
Right.
And what about Black Lives Matter? What about all of the continued, it's not that it's not important to take care of anti-Asian hate. It's not that it's not important to take care of these other problems.
Oh, never. No one should be put on the backbone burner
Of
for
course.
anybody else.
Oh, of course.
But that is what we're talking
That
about.
exactly.
That's the point that we're getting to. Our voices are still being constantly pushed down. That was the prime example that I just gave you.
No, yeah, you're making a fantastic point.
You literally just not only did you just promise us a whole bunch of things, go away, just go away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and another problem arises, and you take care of it in no time.
Right.
In no time. So that must mean you must either, one, fear the other problem more, or the other problem would cost you a lot more.
Right.
You know, so literally to me, essentially you think we're worthless. In my eyes, you know, he's already made weird remarks like, if you don't vote for me or some shit, then you ain't black.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So we already we don't hold this man in the highest regard. No, fuck that. Who does? Who here does?
Right.
You know, if we could eradicate this problem without him voting for him, matter of fact, like, I don't know what benevolent force did not put Bernie Sanders in that White House. The one person I consistently see on every social media talking about the same shit that I care about.
Right.
You know, even in his position of power gets shot down every time he opens up his mouth. It's something that either really affects you or is affecting people right close to you, me and you. But you know, this, like, I would have rather we have burned more buildings and cost them a lot more money than putting Joe Biden in the White House. Because this is people's lives we were talking about. It cost lives. We literally lost damn near half of the United States last year. Taking the risk of putting vaccines in our arms that was never even passed by the CDC or whatever people say we should put stuff in our body. You know, they gave that shit to us without them saying, okay, check, put it in their bodies, you're good, because it was an emergency. You know, Black Lives Matter is still an emergency. You know, we're still dying. We're still being falsely prosecuted. You know, that like, what, 2020, they killed like three black people on death row that they had proved their innocence, you know, months before their trial, months before they were set to die. That's a real fact and a real statement, and people are scared to look that up because you know what you're going to see. You're going to be like, well, which one?
All right, so we're out here trying to basically organize a community to remind people in government that we are here, that we're not going away, that we won't be silenced, and we're going to continue to fight until this fight is won. You know, over a year of hardcore organizing in the streets, not to mention the decades and so on that our ancestors have been leading this fight. We're still here. We're still here regularly out in the streets, and we're heading now to the FOP, where we're going to tell them to fuck themselves.
Yeah, so talk about that. A lot of people don't understand the connection between the FOP and why they're bad. A lot of people are misinformed about them. Speak on that.
Yeah, so the FOP is a lot more than like a cutesy sticker you put in your window to get out of a ticket. You know, like the FOP has for ages ensured that there is no accountability for the on the county, that the police do not respond to the public rather than their own interests in defending one another. As a member of DSA, one of the things that I'm focused on is making clear the difference between the FOP and labor, the difference between police and labor. From the Haymarket to the recent work against Amazon, they're always there on the wrong side. They're always there to organize against to organize against labor.
Yeah, we were actually there reporting the Black Rock event, and we were just reporting at the Staten Island organizing event with Chris Smalls. And so it's like people think unions are just unilaterally a good thing. They don't understand why FOP is bad, but they also don't understand why police have their roots in slave patrols and things like that. So, what are your hopes for people understanding what defunding the police actually means, for people coming out and joining you folks?
So I think one thing that's really important to note is that in the media at the moment you hear a lot of, frankly, bullshit about language. You know, like whenever our message becomes too difficult to confront, because a lot of what we're saying is really everyday normal stuff. Cops should not be in schools. That's absurd. You know. So they like to attack us on the language of defunding the police. I think what's really important to note is that for ages, all of our community has been defunded. Cuts hit every aspect of American society aside from the police. They can depend year after year on more money, on new armaments, on new means to brutalize the public.
Isabel Duvall.
Isabel Duvall.
Marquise Austin. Daquan Young. Eric Carter. Jamal Byrd. Devon Harris. Dion K. Karan Hilton Brown. And Vito Hall.
Cops stand with the bosses and the ruling class. They suppress labor unions, break up strikes, harass, arrest, and kill workers. They're foot soldiers for capitalism and white supremacy. By definition, cops are not workers because violence is not a job.
Well, hello, y'all. And fuck all of y'all. I am a fiend. I am an anti-war military veteran. So when I say that I truly hate the police and the carceral state and every piece of this violent system, I've been inside of it. I truly fucking hate it.
Me too. Me too.
So here we are standing in front of the FOP. They call themselves the largest law enforcement organization in America. But honestly, if you ask me, they're the largest collection of murderers and thieves in America that go completely unchecked.
Shut this motherfucker down.
And the FOP protects them. The FOP organizes for them. The FOP allows them to continue their abuse and their violence. And even when they get fired or administrative leave for it, the FOP just fights for them to bring them back. Because they want to keep this fucking bullshit-ass system in place. And how do they do that? By playing their part. By oppressing all of us. By oppressing all of the black people in this city that make this economy. That built this city. That culture flows through these fucking streets. All of those black people are being abused by MPD. While some of them are being employed by MPD.
Okay.
And guess what?
House niggas.
It doesn't matter how many of these motherfucking house niggas is on MPD.
Okay, yes.
87% of the people that they arrest in this city are black people, and the FOP protects them.
Right.
Like Elizabeth said, these motherfuckers are not workers. They are violent abusers. They are oppressors. They are slave overseers.
Exactly.
That's it.
Slave overseers.
They're here to keep the order and to keep the peace for the people that don't even give a fuck enough about them to investigate the deaths of some of them in the January 6th Commission. Don't even give a fuck enough about you.
Don't even
But
care
you
about
out
your
here
black ass.
doing this stupid ass job, especially you dumbass black people.
Exactly. Dumb. Bama.
We want reinvestment into our communities.
Bama.
We want health care. Like Elizabeth said.
Bama ass police.
Like Elizabeth said, in overtime alone, one officer made
Bama ass black
$200,000.
police.
With a $543 million budget. And that's the proposed budget. That's not the actual budget after they do all their bullshit throughout the year, y'all.
Exactly.
Last year in June, guess how much these motherfuckers spent by themselves? $24 million.
On what? Killing people?
On abusing protesters and keeping the peace. Where are they keeping the peace from? If you believe in people's First Amendment rights, if you believe that people should be able to fight back and stand up and use their voices, then why the fuck are you tear gassing them and pepper spraying them and beating on them and breaking their fucking legs, MPD? Why are you chasing down fathers of babies and killing them, MPD? Why? Why are you shooting people, MPD? Why can't you actually do something else with your life?
No, really.
We want real investment in real jobs. We want black people in our neighborhoods to have well-paying jobs that isn't abusing and being violent towards other black people. We want affordable housing because DC has the highest homeless rate per capita.
Yes, go ahead, say it.
DC has the highest homeless rate per capita. And guess what? A lot of those people are black people.
And they want to kill them off.
And guess what? These motherfuckers arrest them. They beat on them. They don't give them the motherfucking mental health care that they need.
They sure don't.
We're not funding drug intervention. We're not funding violence interruption. We are funding violence.
Ain't got nowhere else to
We are
go.
funding oppression. We are funding fucking abuse. And guess what? The FOP is the bullshit-ass organization that fucking protects these motherfuckers.
You gotta say it, baby. Say it. Say it, sister.
They call us terrorists for being anti-fascist while they fucking carry out fascism every day. They call us terrorists, but since George Floyd has died, over 1,000 people have been shot by the police. But they call us the terrorists for fighting back for our rights, for actually using our voices, and for not being fucking scared of a motherfucking one of these bitches in a badge. I will not be called anything but a motherfucking revolutionary, an activist, and a motherfucker that actually gives a fuck about human rights.
Yes.
These are the #1 human rights abusers in motherfucking America. It is getting goddamn time that we fucking fund them. That we actually invest in the shit that will keep us safe.
If you want to join the motherfucking movement, if you want to join Defund MPD, then actually join the movement. Get active. Because guess what? These motherfuckers are making up new shit every day.
Yes, they are.
New shit every fucking day. To oppress us, to hold us down, to abuse us and get the fuck away with it.
Get your knee off our neck.
How we doing? So, we're gonna fucking organize. We're gonna stand the fuck up.
That's right.
We're gonna get the fuck we fucking deserve. And that's all. $543 million motherfucking dollars.
What would you say to folks who don't completely understand what it means to defund the police and why it is so important for folks who are new to the idea?
Don't think about it as defunding, think about a refund. Think about it as a refund to your community, to your healthcare, to your education. Because they've been defunding all these things for years. They have been historically defunding them, and that is not unpopular for them to do, apparently. So why is it unpopular for us to want a refund for the communities that matter to us? So when people misunderstand Defund MPD, just understand that we are truly thinking about real community safety, and that comes from education, that comes from housing, that comes from food, that comes from water. That does not come from violent police in our streets.
What do we do in the face of Joe Biden of DC moving to fund police even more, despite the calls to defund the police?
It means that they're not listening. It means that they don't actually care about community safety. It means that they're not centering the voices of the people that are being abused the most by this system. Black trans people, black queer people, and black people in general are being oppressed by this system. Working class people are not getting the resources that they need because of the way that the system is set up. They are fucking forfeiting. They are stealing people's things. They're taking people's property. And whether they have charges or not, they're taking people's assets. That shit is unacceptable.
And we live in a place where, sure, Derek Chauvin got, the 3 charges, but still, Tamir Rice's mother is having to file a brief to try to prevent her son's murderer from getting his job back. So it's still happening all the time. New black people are being murdered constantly. What do you say to people who've kind of gone back to sleep?
I would say Google Ronald Green. I would say Google Ma'Khia Bryant. I would say actually wake up and pay attention, because at the end of the day, Derek Chauvin's verdict doesn't mean anything. It does not mean that we're safer. It does not mean that these police have magically stopped being racist. That's just not the case. Over 1,000 people have been shot and killed by the police since George Floyd has died. 900 people this year, 2021, we're only halfway through, have been shot. So when we talk about, safety, when we talk about, breaking up things like the FOP that protect officers, that bring them back, after they've committed so many human rights abuses, we are genuinely talking about centering real community safety through the social safety nets that a lot of white neighborhoods had, period. I grew up in a white neighborhood. I know what the social safety nets are. I know what the education system looks like. And I've also went to black schools, and I know how underfunded they are. Black neighborhoods are underfunded, no good jobs except for being a police officer or joining the military in these black neighborhoods. And that's just not good enough. And we're demanding more. We're demanding what we deserve, because we built all this shit for free. So we're coming back for what we're owed.
What do you think the biggest thing that, white people who don't understand but maybe want to, and it's not it's not a black person's job to educate the white population, what should folks do? We see white people walking by, kind of glancing but not doing anything, not stopping and listening. What should people do?
Honestly, the best thing that white people can do is start to talk about race every day, because I'm sure that you don't. How many times have you talked about your race relations in your life? I'm sure you can count it on one hand. Black people have to talk about race every day. Arab people have to talk about their race, their religion every day. Like, no matter if you are not white, you have to face your race and the discrimination and the oppression every day. So the best thing white people can do is check yourself. Where are you at? What are you doing? What are you upholding? What biases are you holding? How do you react when you see black people minding their business? What is your first reaction? Start paying attention to shit like that. That's the best thing that white people can do. Because once you really start paying attention to that, if you actually give a damn about black people like you say you do, then you'll be out here with us. You'll be funding us. You'll be giving your white dollars just like they give all that white money to the conservatives and to the right wing for their racism and their bigotry, their white identity politics. Y'all should be pouring your funds over here into the real liberation movement, because our liberation is everyone's liberation. If black people get health care, we all get health care. But black people need it, period.
About MPD, Defund MPD, how can folks get involved specifically with this movement that they've been watching today, watching you speak about?
Text 30403 and text the word Defund MPD, all one word. You can also visit our website at defundmpd.org, and you can follow us on Instagram at defundmpd. We have a lot of resources. You can join the coalition if you're in DC, if you're local, or if you just want to donate to WFP or to Defund MPD Coalition, please do so. We need funding. We need it.
And if you want to, remind folks of your name and any last words that you want to say.
My name is Afeni, and liberate us, liberate Palestine, and actually start fighting for human rights, because if they exterminate all of us, who do you think they're coming for next?
Do you think the FOP is a good thing? What about in instances where I'm a journalist? I'm just asking questions. I'm a journalist. So what about, I've been covering this event, so in cases where they say like the officers like records are wiped in instances like that.
No, you thinking out the box now. Ain't no way in the world, ain't no way they would do that. No.
Where
they don't do that.
Well, in certain cases, in different...
No, certain cases, get that out your mind. Please stop saying about that. They don't do stuff like that.
Well, where officers are able to be rehired in a different... Well, that is true. I have researched that. And
well, print it.
Okay, that's literally true.
They don't do that. Don't
no, that's literally true. Where the FOP, the union, allows the records to be wiped, and then officers are able to be rehired.
They don't have no type of power like that.
They do. The union negotiates.
No, they don't. I don't know where you get that from. You got to do a little bit more journalism.
No, that is literally true.
Where you getting that from is not telling you the right thing.
The union negotiates where officers' files could be wiped or gone, like that information is gone.
Let me say this to understand what I'm saying. They don't do that.
No, that is true. That is.
I don't know where you get that from.
I don't know how I can ask you more questions if you're denying them.
I'm just letting you know they don't do that. They'll go to jail for that. And nobody wants to go to jail.
Okay. So let's go on to the next question, I guess.
That's all the questions. You got something like that? We can end this interview right now.
Okay. So my next question is, why do you think there is this kind of like rub or like discontent between Black Lives Matter and the FOP and MPD, in your opinion?
I don't think we got no issues with FOP.
Well, why? No, I'm saying, why does Black Lives Matter?
It's just what y'all say in the media and y'all run with it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm independent media. Like it's not
like
running with
independent media, whatever. I mean, all that's next.
No, I don't have someone telling me what to say. No, I'm asking you questions. I said a fact to you.
No, I'm letting you know. You're not doing good proper journalism.
Okay, so
all you doing is saying the filth, and these people that don't have no, just want to do
no. So I asked you a next question. I'm saying, why do you think that there is a why do you think these folks are out here protesting and upset with the MPD and FOP, in your opinion?
Because negative media stuff is going on, and they read.
No, so the mainstream media certainly.
These officers out here got issues with Black Lives Matter.
They do, because I was beaten just for simply recording protests last year. I was beaten by MPD for no reason.
Who was beaten by MPD?
I was.
You sure?
Yes.
You got it on film?
I was literally doing
You got
this.
it on film?
Yes, I do.
Well, let me see it.
Okay, I
Let
can't. I'm
me see
live
it.
right now, so I can't.
No, stop the live and let me see it.
I'm not going to stop the live. I was.
Yeah, let me see it, baby.
I go to Status Coup on YouTube and you can find it.
Show it to me on your camera.
I am live, so I can't do that. You can find it though. Go to Status Coup on YouTube if you're interested.
And did nobody beat you up, baby?
Yes, they did. They did.
They did. They beat IED investigative.
No. You guys still have my reporting equipment. If someone would like to look for it for me, would you guys like to find my equipment for me from last year when you beat me? Would you? Anyone? Would any of you like to do that?
Now you saying all these officers beat you?
Yes, I did. You guys denied that you did it, so it's kind of hard. It's on camera though.
All these officers beat you?
So, no, I'm not saying these guys did, certainly. No, you guys denied that it was MPD, but then it was on camera, so then it was, and then your guys were like, oh, okay, it was us. So, it's on your files, so. But, so I was beaten not once, I was knocked over once, and then I was knocked over again, and protesters had to drag me to safety.
Girl, antagonizing us, man. Antagonizing.
What girl? She's not, I'm a journalist.
That's disrespectful as hell, actually.
How's it disrespectful?
To say that that's her girl,
I don't.
Is that your friend?
Why don't you get your friends? Why don't you get your friends, bro?
I'm a journalist, I don't know her.
He wants to lie about us not fucking protecting the community when y'all are fucking killing each other out here. Y'all are killing your own people out here. And he wants to lie to my girl's face about how she fucking serves and protects the community more than y'all do. You don't know how nothing because you ain't here getting your people. And you want to talk about us getting our girls? Get your people, bro. Get your people. Get your people. Before you speak again, think about it. Get your fucking people.
I have actually, it's filed with the U.S. Freedom of Press Journalists. It's filed with that. It's filed with MPD.
Did you show that to your
continuously kill people.
It's filed with a couple of different things. I don't know about the U.S. Press or the U.S. Attorney's Office. It's filed with the U.S. Press Freedom Tracker. It's filed with the MPD. Like, if you care about it, like, I'm not lying.
Because y'all aren't changing. Y'all aren't doing shit. You want to laugh at my girl's face?
No, she gotta say no more, right?
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
I'm just a valid question. And she had receipts and everything.
You haven't killed anybody. Y'all ain't arresting homeless people. Y'all ain't giving them housing. Y'all ain't giving them shit. Y'all ain't giving them food, water, nothing. Money. You let them freeze outside. You get today.
Count up all
I'll find it for you since you care.
Count up all the people we've kidnapped.
Y'all fucking abuse people like us. Abuse people on the street.
Tell me, count up all the people we've kidnapped. Huh?
Oh, here you go, buddy. Here you go.
You get it yet?
It's right here.
Let me tell you how many people we fed today. We fed 100 people today. What the fuck you do? What the fuck you do?
In the video.
This is the U.S. Press Freedom Tracker wrote it up. It's all right there.
I thought you had a video.
I do have a video. This is the write-up about it.
The write-up. What a video. I want to see the video.
I mean, I can look at it. So let me show my audience that this is the thing here. So the video's long. I mean,
I just want to see where you got assaulted, if they assaulted you.
They did. It's a 4-hour-long live stream. I mean,
what they assault you? What you do?
I didn't do anything. I was a journalist. You can see I'm reporting the whole time. I'm simply showing what's going on. So I'm just I'm holding it just like I would be holding it. You can keep scrolling through, like, and you'll eventually find it.
The strictest department you could ever work for. The strictest.
No, that's clearly not.
That doesn't mean shit. I have so much footage of all of you and a lot of MPD doing some back this shit. Not to mention the fact that y'all sit there and
look at your girls.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
All they doing is writing, man.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with that MPD assaulting me.
People aren't supposed to cuss? supposed to be over this?
But that's not arrestable. That doesn't mean you beat people.
You killed Karan Hilton, and after sudden it's still there. You just said that's your boys. You said that. This is your people. This is your people.
Okay,
so if
I'm talking about MPD
Officer Terrence Sutton,
who's Karan Hilton?
you don't know. Okay, so do you know who?
Hold on, guys. I need to get my other phone out because this one's about to die. So
These
hold
are all
on.
your boys?
Come on down to earth to me.
These are your boys?
Who you talking about?
See, the problem is you talk to a lot of people that are super condescending, and then when we provide you facts and figures, when she's providing a video, when she's providing
Actually, I just need to plug it
then
in.
you got questions like, well, I don't want to see that, I want to see this.
Anybody say I didn't want to see it?
Yeah, just scroll through it. Just scroll through it, and you'll eventually get to the point. And then it continued. My thing kept streaming.
That's me?
My thing kept streaming for an hour because the cops wouldn't let me get it.
Tripping, dog.
Yeah, so it's probably.
The gaslighting y'all do is disgusting.
Oh, right here.
Yeah,
It goes up, someone threw something, and then I'm just live streaming, and I laugh next to me because I accidentally stepped on someone's foot. Then the cops like attack me. I drop my stuff. I stand up and say, oh, I point to my stuff that all fell down because the cop attacked me. And the cop attacked me again, and protesters had to pull me to safety. And my phone continued live streaming for the rest of the video.
All I see now is a black screen.
Yes, because the cops attacked me, and my phone dropped.
Yeah, so was nothing.
Well,
I literally just walked you through it, bro.
Look.
Are you blind?
I don't even talk.
Look, you can see my face when he attacked me because
I don't want your energy. I don't want your energy.
I don't want your energy. I want you defunded, motherfucker. I want you out of here. I want
Can
you
you
to
hold
abolish.
this?
Well, then stop talking about my girls and my friends.
Just back up.
No. You will get me too, because these are my people. You don't speak to my people no type of way unless I'm here. I'm protecting them. You don't protect them.
You got issues.
You got issues, bro. You fucking killing people out here. You killing your people out here, bro. You got issues. You working for the biggest oppressor of this fucking world, of this nation. You got issues. Telling me I got issues.
Yeah, you tripping now.
I'm tripping. I'm tripping, but you out here killing your fucking people, your people. You're disappointing your ancestors, bro. That's what you're doing.
Alright, so what you saw in the video, you still don't see what was wrong with that, what your officers did.
I didn't see your face. That's why I told you to show it to me where you coming from.
I was the one holding the camera, and then when he pushes me with his shield down to the ground, you can see it.
Did you get too close?
No.
So you mean to tell me?
Standing right
so they're allowed to
and
physically harm citizens if they get too close.
The audacity.
And you can see the camera turn towards my face.
This is clearly a journalist.
Like, I was just like this. Standing the whole time right where I was.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Like, doing nothing wrong.
What date is that? What is that?
It was March something.
Oh, that's March.
Or no, not March, May or something. It was after church like that.
Well, I'm sorry this happened to you.
That's what you got to say.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
That's what you got to say.
All of us are not killers.
But protesters had to pull me to safety. This happened, it's not about me. This happened to so many black protesters, so many people of color. Protesters pulled me to safety. Protesters have been taking care of one another.
That's good.
Constantly. They're the ones who have water and snacks for each other. They take care of each other. They have medics. They attack the medics. My co-founder of Coup was arrested first for reporting. They arrest illegal observers first in St. Louis. This happens all over the country. They get rid of the observers first. This is not a non-issue. I know you're a police officer, so it's hard. Okay, I know you were.
So you don't think the people that are out here doing this are tired? You don't think that the journalists that have been covering this are tired? We would also need your help as people that carry these fuck-ass badges to like stop doing what y'all doing and in fact live what you guys say you do. That's what needs to happen. But you sitting here gaslighting people. I mean, you've been gaslighting the both of them. I've heard a lot. I've heard the entire thing. But like, if you would stop gaslighting and maybe do a little more listening, and the fact that we wouldn't have to sit there and constantly prove to you how abusive you guys are, you know, that if you guys would just listen and like actually believe us when we say that you guys are being hurtful.
But I travel the country at events like this. I see it all over. So does my co-founder. Like I have a coworker in LA. she's in the top 25 of assaulted journalists. They track this on the U.S. Press Freedom Tracker for doing nothing. She doesn't like antagonize cops. They're getting rid of the journalists who are the observers.
Like I was just throwing our head, antagonizing the guy on the guy.
So is your solution, your response to everything when we ask you something is to say, so you guys too? So what about y'all? So what kind of conversation? See, well, I'm glad that a lot of people in here are seeing that, like, this is how you've chosen to respond to the people that are asking you valid questions. And that's fine, but that's just an example of the problem with this.
Y'all really want to help?
No, we don't want to help you. We want to help each other. We want to help ourselves. We don't want to help you guys.
Yeah.
We've done enough by funding you guys.
If you really want to take a part in society, go take all this Black Lives Matter in Southeast.
We do actually.
Go down there and press. And
they do actually. So you're blaming the people of Southeast as what? What does that mean? What do you, please elaborate?
We got shootings out there.
Okay, and why? Why?
That's systemic.
Why do they have that?
Honestly, I don't think they have enough police in D.C.
You don't think that they have enough police in D.C.?
That's just my
With all the funding that you guys have received, you guys don't. So.
Want to be police now.
Oh, so before this, so let's say 10 years ago, how was policing helping the communities 10 years ago? Because now we still have the same issues. So how are you guys helpful? Because we've done nothing but keep giving you money each and every year. So if we're giving you guys money, how are you guys helpful?
You talk to the legislation.
Talk to who? Well, I'm trying to have a conveation with you, and clearly.
You know DC's corrupt as hell.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Don't you know it? You know it, huh?
That's people are. That's their planning to do so.
Go to DC Council. Just do
What
like
do you-
they do
what
all
do
in
you
the.
think it's gonna do?
Listen. Do like they do in
Do you think
wrestling.
it's gonna do any good?
Just bum rushing. When they're in session, bum rushing.
You
That's
think
y'all can come out
Hey,
here.
y'all
What
heard
are
it.
you gonna do? Protect us
y'all
when something goes on?
and beat all the black people.
What's gonna
Trust me,
happen?
they ain't gonna do it to y'all.
They're not?
But y'all
Wow.
gonna do something to us. That's the thing.
All right.
And sit down
This
and
is
tell
just
me
an
when to talk.
example of
Just
like,
going up in there.
these are the kind of people that are, this is the thinking, this is the mindset that is funded by MPD. This is the mindset. These are the people that MPD employs. This is the way of thinking. That's just, we wonder why you guys are shooting people.
She's literally asking you genuine questions that you could answer, but instead you just gaslight the fuck out of her.
Sending a gaslight.
Can't talk to her.
Clearly she's a journalist. You guys.
And you know something's wrong because you said people don't even want to be cops anymore. Why is that? Are you asking yourself that question?
Well, I mean, I hope it's hard, I'm sure, after a long time. I don't know how many years you were in, but listen to the people. It's not okay that they're assaulting journalists and legal observers and medics. It's not okay that they're murdering black people all over the country.
There they are doing it.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna tell you this much: this department's not doing it.
of course they are.
No, they're not. I'm gonna tell you something. This is a strict department. A very strict department.
There are a whole bunch of assholes in the MPD.
Everybody come to our and get our disciplinary general orders all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask us, how do we police?
Yeah, but
This is a strict. When you want to go out to Fairfax.
you
go out to
know-
other jurisdictions.
you know that they lost their minds during the George Floyd stuff last year. You know that there are police murders. You know that I know somebody in the MPD. They're literally just kicking bullets away when they don't feel like cataloging them. It's the corrupt as hell. It's bad. It's not okay.
I'm just letting you know right now what I know. It's a very strict department.
Okay, so I'm just saying, listen to people, that there is a problem. The homelessness is a problem.
It's always been a home.
Of course. So how do we fix it?
DC Council.
The council won't do anything. The council's corrupt. It's a systemic problem. It's horrible. Biden's in office. He's not going to do a thing. Trump was horrible. Great. He's gone. Now what? Council's not going to do a thing.
They tell you what's going on. The
No.
government, DC government.
Yeah, no. Government is not the answer.
And
So.
I'll tell you something. Homeless is got a lot of mental issues.
Of course. So we need.
I talk to people that got degrees, doctors,
Yes.
degrees, and they're homeless.
And now it's going to get worse because of COVID and because mental illness is skyrocketing. So the answer isn't more policing. The answer is more mental health services and social services. and not sending out the police. So you seem like you are, in the end, willing to listen. So I hope that you.
I've been trying to listen, but your girl.
I know. Well, you were originally not. You were originally like, what did you do to get assaulted? Which, okay. So anyway, I appreciate your time. My name is Jen.
I'm Keith.
Hi, Keith. It was nice talking to you. I do have to go eat.
You know, all it is a conversation, whether y'all agree or not. That's what more people need to do. Exactly. Hey, is that
Indeed.
No.
It should be though, right? Am I right?
Not just no, but hell no.
Okay, it's bad though, right? Look it up.
No.
It's bad.
How are you going to close FOB?
It's terrible.
No, it's not.
The FOP is bad.
Does it do anything good? Yes or no?
Did they do anything good for you guys? Sure.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You don't see all the kids that come in here and dance.
To dance?
They come to do everything, and this thing is open to
FOP
the community.
is fabulous for you guys, not for anybody
You can
else.
come in here too.
I don't want to go in there.
It's open.
It says private club.
Or
No,
if
it's
you know a
not.
police officer, or if you want to come play, hey, let's go out.
Yeah, I know a police officer.
You know you like it.
And we all not.
You hate
We
something.
not. We not terrible. I'm gonna tell you, there's some assholes on the job, but we not terrible.
I have many thoughts, but I'll leave you folks to your research the history of the FOP, research other stuff that you don't want to research, and look into it and look up status coup and have a watch.
Well,
Bye,
That
guys.
goes both ways, though, right?
Not with the police.
Okay. See?
Let me know when you find my equipment from last year. Bye, guys.
We're on it.